afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Show, only found here on Bowlers Network. Again, this is new. It's our second segment, and we are all bowling and some controversy. And I don't know. We talk about everything, but it's always related to bowling. I am joined by two this afternoon. We have Fettig, who is the creator of Bowlers Network, and 𝗟𝗓𝗏. Did I say that right?
You did, and you nailed it.
I did. Oh my God, thank goodness. And he is an influencer. ZVL Bowling, you need to check it out. And why? Because that is our first segment today. That is what we're going to talk about. One of the great things about social media is we can find anything and everything on social media, whether it be good or bad. You posted a great graphic, and I believe it was earlier this week or at the end of last week. And it talked a little bit about rev rate, speed dominance, and that is going to be our first chat today. We have a great graphic, the one that you posted. Before we go into it, though, one of the things I was always taught, Bowling 101 by one of the smartest people in bowling, Hank Boomershine, if your rev rate and speed don't match, it's probably not productive, right? So talk a little bit about why you posted this great graphic.
Yeah, absolutely. So this graphic is a culmination of a lot of graphics that have floated around the internet for 10 to 20 years now about how do you know if you're balanced, rev dominant, or speed dominant. Because my channel focuses on a lot of bowling balls and being able to match up bowling balls to the right person. And one of the toughest questions is always, well, I want to get a ball. What do I get? Well, as someone who works in a pro shop, you need to know what's your speed, what's your rev rate, where do you bowl, all of that stuff. And a lot of people don't really know, well, I don't know my speed or my rev rate. I don't know if I'm rev dominant or speed dominant. So I put that all together on the chart that you were seeing, where it shows you if you're a balanced bowler, a speed dominant bowler, or a rev dominant bowler, because that greatly impacts what bowling balls will fit your game best. And especially with the rise of two-handed bowlers, there's more and more and more rev dominant bowlers that are entering the game. So it's good for them to be aware that, hey, they might not need the biggest hooking ball in the world because their rev rate overweighs their speed.
I love that. And that's a simple analogy. Jay, what do you find in a lot of the events that you actually promote and are in charge of? Do you see a lot of this you do the senior tour, which we'll talk a little bit later about, up in North Dakota. Do you see this question come up a lot?
Not as much as it should. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, and I think it's not a known thing. And unfortunately, I think a lot of pro shops and ball drillers necessarily take the time that they should, because it does. It takes some time to find, a player's, tilt, their pap. And I think that exactly what Zach is mentioning is incredibly important. And I know we're going to talk more about this, the social media side, but without this information, they go on and they watch a particular player throw a ball and they're like, oh, I love that shape. I want that. Well, just because that works for them doesn't mean that's going to work for you. So there's a lot of science that goes into it. But as I mentioned, I don't think it's asked enough. And I think it's also very misunderstood.
I think that is so important to even reiterate right here is when you are dealing with a good pro shop or a coach, they are going to watch you bowl. They're going to watch you throw all your equipment, see what you actually have. What is your rev rate? I mean, not everybody has all of the bells and whistles to be able to, like a specto. What is your rev rate? What is your launch angle? Not everybody has that. But you can watch someone bowl and read the monitor or just see the different reactions they have. I know for myself, now I went to heavier 14s, okay? Because one of the things, it wasn't that I couldn't throw 15 pounds. What I felt was when I needed to throw it harder, I was working harder. So I went down so that I could actually increase my ball speed, which helped to match to my rev rate just a little bit better. And one of the factors on that was I didn't have to use as much surface, where I was forced to do that earlier. So again, there's just a simple example, just using myself because I don't want to pick apart anybody else. But that was just a simple thing to learn, was that why try so hard when there are other things that you can do? Jay, you brought up a good point. How much information is too much information? And one of the things I see coaching is that the first thing everybody says is, I watched the video and I watched, and I'm just picking names, 𝗟𝗏𝗪 and 𝗂𝗟𝗑𝗏 and Jordan Richard and Snodgrass, sorry, Jordan, although she still loves me. I watch them bowl and I think I want the ball they're throwing. I then nicely have to explain, you are never going to throw it like 𝗂𝗟𝗑𝗏, Jason Belmonte, or Jordan. So when is too much information detrimental to learning the sport? Jay?
You know, I don't think, in my personal opinion, as long as it's educational based, and I think Zach and his show do a phenomenal job, and one of the best out there, to be honest. When we focus on the educational side, I think that is, you can't get enough. When we focus on watching somebody throw a ball that may not throw it anywhere near what we throw it as, I think that can be probably more harmful than good in some respects, because we're showing what the ball can do.
Correct.
Right, at its maximum performance. But I don't know, again, that most of us will ever throw the ball similar to some of these, you know, big name pros. So it can be harmful, but it also shows what the ball is supposed to do in the right hands.
Okay. You know, that's a great point. And I want to talk a little bit about how do we actually put some of those videos that we watch into perspective to use those videos and those tips to enhance our own game. In other words, take those little tidbits and make sure that we're saying, oh, okay, well, Jason does this, but I'm not going to be able to do it, so I need to make some minor adjustments. We are going to have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, Zach, I would love you to explain in simple terms, how do we correlate what we watch and put it into our game?
Absolutely. It's actually simpler than I think a lot of people will think. So I'll be excited to get into that.
Okay.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to 𝗀𝗏𝗪𝐺 Collision Center. Our shop is supersized and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle, step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're 𝗀𝗏𝗪𝐺 Collision Center and we're the best at what we do.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 1st Street Northeast, Mandan.
Welcome back to the Daily Show. Zach, when we left, we were talking about, with all of the social media, YouTube videos, a lot of your information that you put on ZVL Bowling, how do we correlate what we actually watch to our game?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's levels to every single sport, bowling, golf, baseball, whatever it may be. There's a lot of levels to it. And a lot of the reviews that you see online of like watching someone throw the new latest and greatest ball, those are usually a couple levels higher because you need to know how they're throwing it, rev rate, speed, what their form looks like, the oil pattern they're on, whole ton of different variables. So as bowlers, the best way to be able to get through that and not get into problem situations where I want the ball that person's throwing, but you don't throw it anything like them, is understanding the variables and understanding the basics of bowling. Get that level 1 information. Understand a little bit about oil patterns, a little bit about what kind of ball does what, asymmetrical, symmetrical, whatever it may be. Understand what different games look like. And like we talked about, the speed and rev rates, being able to know like what your speed is, what your rev rate is, and kind of trying to guesstimate what the person you're watching, their speed or rev rate looks like. So you always want to be able to climb the ladder rung by rung. You don't want to jump 7 levels too high, because
Right.
then you're just going to be really confused.
Okay. And I love that. It's made simple. And we as bowlers also have to be very realistic to what we really are. I'm a lower rev player. I've never been embarrassed about that. It worked out pretty well for me. What I did learn was how to match up what I needed in ball, speed, playing the lanes to make it the most successful. Which now leads me, we're going to kind of veer off of that. I'm going to throw everybody for a loop. Jay, how important then do you think seeking out a good pro shop and coaching is to learn some of these variables that are most important to making you an all-around bowler?
I think the answer to that is immeasurable, at least in my opinion, with one caveat. If you are a player that wants to improve, right? And you want, whether it be a league player or a tournament player, if you want to improve, having the education to figure out what's going on, I don't know that there is a way to measure that. And it's going to start with a pro shop. The pro shop has to understand your game. Otherwise, you may be throwing a ball that is just literally impossible to do what you want it to do, or frankly need it to do. And the other thing is understanding, like Zach mentioned, lane conditions, the changing of lane conditions. What do I move then? Do I move with just my feet? Do I go to a different ball? That kind of education, I don't think you can put, a real measure on it.
Well, and I think the importance of it is I've always tried to focus on the fact of you don't want to give something to someone that's not going to make them better. I know it's a guessing game, but you want them to continue to love the sport, become better at it, have more fun. Again, there's a place for everybody. So I do feel that relationship between the coach and the bowler, or the pro shop and the bowler, is so much more important even now because of all the variables that Zach, you mentioned. I mean, we can go, you're right, from the way you throw it all the way to lane conditions. What surface are you bowling on? There's so much more to it, and that relationship has to be built from day one. Zach, you've had an experience with that. What is your experience with working with coaches and pro shops?
Yeah, so I actually work in a pro shop, and I've worked in one for about 5 or 6 years now, and this is essential. Even through the channel, I hear a lot of horror stories from people saying, I really wanted this really strong asymmetrical ball because reviewer ABC made it look so good. So I bought it, but it doesn't work for me. It hooks way too much. What am I supposed to do about it? And as a pro shop operator, I understand that that was not the right ball for your game. You're trying, using a golf analogy, you're trying to hit a putter 300 yards. You're trying to hit a driver 5 yards, whatever it may be. That was just an unfortunately bad choice. So having that relationship and having people trusting their pro shop with what kind of ball fits their game best. Going back to speed and rev rate again, as a rev dominant bowler, you might need those lower end bowling balls, those roto grip hustles, hammer vibes, whatever it may be, just to be able to continually improve your game so you don't have to worry about that ball reaction. Because while you can always buy new bowling balls, and that's always the most fun thing, getting that coaching, having those improvements in your game to bring you up in your average is always the best thing.
I agree with that, and there's a lot of information out there. I encourage every bowler, no matter the skill level or your age, seek out a matchmaker or a demo day. All of the companies have these available where you can try bowling balls before you buy them. And the greatest thing about them is they're most of the time working with the pro shop in that bowling center that you're at. So the clientele is already probably familiar with that pro shop. Some of the pro staff of each company is there telling the customers, what may work for them or guide them in the right direction. But we need to take advantage of all that great information that's out there. One of the things I want to talk about is, before we cut to another commercial, is Jay, talk a little bit about the senior market in bowling right now.
Oh man, that is in my 2 cents. Being a senior myself, I'm 50, over 50. Whether it be the senior men or senior women, either way, is probably the most overlooked market. In my opinion, from a lot of different avenues, from a sponsorship level, from a tournament level. There's not around here in our state and surrounding states, there were none senior only events, right? And it unfortunately got to the point where, seniors just quit bowling. So we can certainly talk more about that, but I'll put it back to you.
Well, that's one of the things we're going to definitely get into, but right there, you hit it on the head. Disposable income. Most seniors still have disposable income, which means we want them bowling. We want them knowledgeable. We want them to continue to love the sport and do it where it's not painful, it doesn't hurt, which goes back to Zach in the fact of seek your pro shop and seek a coach to make sure that your fit is good and you're not hurting yourself. We are going to cut to another commercial break, but when we get back, now here's the other one. We're going to talk about controversy. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something that should continue? God knows we have enough of it in bowling. When we come back, let's talk controversy.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Find relief for what ails you at 𝗟𝗵𝗄 Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at 𝗟𝗵𝗄 Apothecary. 𝗟𝗵𝗄 products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to 𝗀𝗵𝐸 Collision Center. Our shop is supersized and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle, step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're 𝗀𝗵𝐸 Collision Center and we're the best at what we do.
Welcome back to the Daily Show here on Bowlers Network, and we left talking about the word controversy. So to my friends Jay and Zach, bowling does enough controversy to ourselves a lot of the time. I want to talk a little bit about your thoughts, especially since you've been involved in a lot of different things. Is controversy good or bad? And do we dwell or do we move on? And I'm going to go to you, Zach, first, because let's face it, we bring everything up. Zach, you had a little controversy last week, as we can say. Nothing detrimental, but a little controversy on on some of your posts. So what are your thoughts on that? Good or bad?
Yeah, I had a little bit of controversy with a certain bowling ball company, not appreciating some of the comments I made in a preview of a bowling ball. And controversy is interesting in the social media world, especially because that's where a lot of this is going on. It's good for views and it's good for growth for some people. One of the common trends on social media, not just bowling, but everywhere, is more negative posts, more negative videos will get a lot of views and a lot of quick growth. However, it's not good for long-term growth or long-term community creation. So in that situation, my goal was to try to snuff it out as quick as possible, which hopefully helps bring more positivity into the space. I was ironically talking to somebody from Storm Bowling a week prior. We were talking about positivity in the space, and that is something that bowling has leaned away from, especially in the last 6 months. I mean, we've had the urethane debacle, we had string pin debacle, we have everything. We had a change in PBA TV company that we were signed with.
Right.
So there was plenty of controversy going on, but the arguing within ourselves doesn't really grow anything. It might be fun for some people, it might boost views in some places, but the anger and the resentment doesn't really help grow the space. That's where the positivity help builds those long-term communities.
And I love that you said that, because there will come a time, because the social media outlet has become so big, there will come a time where views and clicks won't get you what you need. There'll be someone new, someone, coming in doing something totally different. And I do agree, if we are all geared to growing the sport, we do need just a little bit more positivity. Or if you're going to have controversy, maybe have a solution to how the controversy can be calmed down just a little bit. Jay, I love that he touched on the fact about the negative things seem to get the most views now, but we do need the positive thoughts. What is your take on how we reverse that?
I might be on an island to some degree by myself, but I've always believed in authenticity. Okay, just be genuine.
Right.
Genuine doesn't have to be positive or negative. It just be authentic. Speak your mind and the truth. You don't have to be vindictive or rude or unnecessarily positive. I think if you are authentic and genuine, people will see, what you're saying. And again, if you're genuine and you're speaking from the heart, you won't say negative things and you won't be overly fake positive either.
Right.
I mean, it's okay to have your thoughts and opinions. They'll see you as that, as authentic and genuine. So that's all I ever try to do, is I just stay the course of me. And I don't veer off of that. Some people don't like that, I guess, but because they have a different opinion, but that's okay. You're entitled to yours.
I think opinions are great. I think opinions are great. I think it's the way it comes across. I mean, I would be a hypocrite if I said that I never have an opinion. First of all, I'm up for a great debate anytime. I have done things when I've been bowling on TV and said things and acted a certain way. Totally made mistakes. Not proud of some of them, but I owned it. I owned it. It's okay. You learn from it. I hope people don't hold me accountable forever for some of those things. But I love the fact that you said authenticity, because when people are authentic, you may see something that you don't agree with or you may not like. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just who they are. Everybody's personality is totally different. And Zach, before we cut out to do some other things, I'd love to know, because you're much younger, how do you feel about the word authenticity? How does that fit into the realm of your age group?
Yeah, authentic is an interesting one, especially in the social media space, because even just someone posting on Instagram or Facebook, you always want to show your best self. That's been something that's happened since the dawn of social media, is you always want to present, people always try to present their best self. Sometimes
Right.
that is authentic, sometimes it's not. Now, when we get into social media of creators and commenters and everyone watching, that's when it gets a little bit interesting, because sometimes people's authentic self doesn't get views. So that's when the biggest problem comes in, because I know for me personally, for a lot of the creators out there, we're all making money due to the amount of views and engagement that videos get. So some people will do anything necessary and flip their personality to try to garner to that extra money, to that extra payday, because that might be their full-time job, or they might just like that extra side change that's coming in, or want to be able to become the biggest there is. Sometimes people's personality doesn't mesh with what the algorithms want or what viewers want, so they'll twist it. Is that good or bad is a very, very deep philosophical discussion that we won't come to a conclusion on today, but that is something to always keep in mind whether you're watching anything on social media or TV. Is somebody authentic? It's
don't
a
know.
chance. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
I love how you touched on that, because you're right. You're going to see some of the stuff, even the things I look at, I go, really? That's what they posted? I'm like, yeah, I've spent time with that. I don't know about that. But you know what? That is going to be an absolutely great topic, because I think we need to talk just a little bit more about that. And what is the difference, and what does get views and what doesn't get views. But guys, this has been a great discussion today. We covered a lot that kind of went in some different directions, which I absolutely love. That's what this right here is all about. And we have some great topics coming up on The Daily Show on Friday, 12 Central Time. We are going to talk staff changing. Could be a little controversy there, I don't know, but I think there's some positive as well. Got a lot of staff changes, people going all over the place. We have PBA Tour getting ready to start. We want to talk about, hey guys, get it together. Who do you think is going to be Player of the Year? Who's Rookie of the Year? Who should we be watching? And I love that we touched on it today, but let's talk some bowling trends. And are they positive or are they negative for bowling? I don't know. We have a lot to talk about come Friday. Right here, you are going to find us on The Daily Show. Bowlers Network is where it's at. All of bowling, again, 12 o'clock Central Time. Join us on Friday.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.